Well, good afternoon and happy Memorial Day weekend. Much love to all of our soldiers, first responders, and everybody else who has lost their lives in the line of service. I myself never got the opportunity to serve in the military, something I do greatly regret. But big ups and much thanks to those of you that have served, will serve, so on and so forth. Shout outs to my grandfather, Noel Scott, who was a Navy man, radio operator for a long time. Harry Kohler, who was a former boss, also a radio operator in the Navy. I guess I ought to even give some props to others, other branches of service, Army, Marines, yes, even the Coast Guard, it's still service. But anyway, I digress. What am I up to today? Today is playing radio on the porch because I'm not in the park. And I'll tell you what I'm up to. What I thought was, normally I have a little 2-meter radio that I use when I'm sitting here on the porch and, I monitor, I might check into a net. This is not my main shack. It's just for when I'm sitting out trying to enjoy a little bit of breeze, a little bit of sun without getting eaten up by bugs. So I'm going to flip angles here potentially. And what I went ahead and did here is I broke out the IC 7100. I've got it running on batteries, being charged by a solar panel. I don't have mains hooked up to it or anything like that at the moment. And I put my 2-meter antenna that got blown down in the storm. I replaced it with an X30A from Diamond. And I've been happy with that. Normally I got one of those itty-bitty Chinese, QYT 8900s or something like that. And I decided, I wonder what would happen if I decided to do a little something goofy and do some HF. Well, how am I going to do that without an HF antenna out here on the porch? Well, I got the wild idea to break out our old friend, the end-fed half-wave, and put him up on his tomato stick next to the porch and see what would happen. Well, the problem with this is clearly I don't have a long run of coax that I would normally use as counterpoise. But what I do have is a fence. So what I've done, I'm going to flip this around just briefly. What I did is I went ahead and, in the spirit of those guys that are tuning up gutters, tuning up fence posts and, cattle fencing and the whole 9 yards, I made me a clip. So we're going to take this clip. We're going to see what happens, if I can do both here, when I connect a banana clip to the fence. And forgive me, I'm not going to be very good at doing both of these. We're going to go to the negative side of our ballon here. And boy, trying to film this with one hand is not great. We're just going to take the other end of that, scooch this around, tighten it down, and see what kind of noise we make. This may be a terrible idea. I don't know. I don't pretend to know. Why am I doing it then? Because it's an experiment. It's fun. Now I've got my fence potentially configured as the counterpoise for my end-fed half-wave antenna. Let's see what it does. Now, those of you who know are probably aware that most end-fed half-waves want to use the coax as a counterpoise or, the negative plane, whatever you want to do. Every antenna is a circuit. It's got a positive and a negative side. In the case of an end-fed half-wave, usually your coaxial cable becomes the negative half of that circuit. That's why they say to use 50 foot or more of coax when you're doing an end-fed half-wave. So, we're going to jump over. I can tell you right now that in a preliminary test, I had an SWR of absolute garbage. Let's see what we get now. Look at that, 2.5 swinging 3 on AM. That is not as bad as I thought it would be. It was infinite open loop just a minute ago. So, do you want an SWR of 3? No. How do I fix that? I try to get the radio to do what I want it to do. Oop. That's right. I've got an antenna tuner. What do we got now? 1 flat. So, boys and girls, what's the moral of the story? Don't be afraid to play. I didn't know if it was going to work, and it doesn't work great, but it works. I'm sitting on my porch, about to do some HF. Now, I have no idea what the bands are doing. This could be a really bad idea. It may not work. I may have to go down to the main shack in order to have a shot. But let's give it a shot. Is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use? WB0 Zulu Alpha Yankee. It's 7200. It should be in use. Why don't we work this the other way and just go have a look-see at what's out there. Ugh. Glare is glary. Sorry. What am I doing? It's daytime. That's better. 20 meters. High 20 meters. I heard something. I think we were a little too high for it. I can't go this low. I gotta be above 225.
I see there's a C. KT2OHL. Well, thanks for the call. My pool water is warmer than it is.
Look at that.
Right now, by the way.
Now, I'm not tuned for this band. As a matter of fact, I think we should turn the tuner off. Oh, damn it. Whatever. It tuned. Let's see.
Whiskey 4 Alpha Victor Mike. Whiskey 4 Alpha Victor Mike for the SS American Victory.
WB0 Zulu Alpha Yankee portable. I don't know if he heard us or not.
I got 2 years here. I'll try it. I think it was an Alpha Whiskey, and the other guy was a Yankee Victor, I believe. Yankee Victor. But I'll take the Alpha Whiskey. Alpha Whiskey first.
This is indicative of not great conditions.
Hey, Echo Alpha Whiskey. Got the 5-9 here in the clear. Aboard the SS American Victory ship. Go ahead.
American Victor. Is it battleships on the air today? Is that what this is? Oh, I gotta try this. I gotta try harder. Oh, I'm only going at 50 watts right now because I'm on batteries. I may have to hook up some main power here or switch to the car battery. Because, yeah, I want this. I'm going to try it. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. I can dial this thing up. Let's see what 75% power looks like. There's a good chance I'm going to overload the batteries. You hear how there's like a Doppler effect? He's coming in and out. That's indicative of conditions.
If you went to Tampa and seen the aquarium or the cruise ships, we're right over there, but in between the cruise ships.
Hopefully nobody's on Facebook watching this. Y'all got other stuff to do. This is just me being nerdy.
Okay, Greg, got you the logbook. Thanks for the call. All that good kind of stuff, and we'll see you later.
I think he had somebody else.
Was there a Yankee Victor out there?
Yeah, he's got somebody else. I'll try him again in a minute.
Sounds like there's a couple, 3 Yankee Victors. I think one of you said you were in New York, correct?
Yeah, well, I won't tie you up watching this, but clearly the proof of concept works. We have a fence post antenna, or at least a fence post ground. So, anyway, I'll tell you how it goes. I'm going to try and get this guy. I may have to hook up the mains power, but I'd sure like to grab some of these battleships if we're doing battleships on the air. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye-bye. Maybe. There we go.